Hello and welcome. This is the first video in a series of videos talking about SSK and the SSK Sampler. In this video I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how to operate the sampler. When you run it for the first time, it should look something like this. What you'll see is the title, SSK Sampler, and a count of the current number of samples. It's worth noting that the count of samples for the one that you get off the GitHub versus the one that you may download either from the Google Play Store when it's available, or from iTunes when it is available, or if you're on my private distribution list, in any of those cases, the executable downloads will always have more samples than the one on the GitHub. And the reason is I'm going to be distributing samples of products as part of the sampler. So you'll be able to run the executable sampler and see some of my products. However, I'm also going to be giving a lot of things away for free. And so what you're seeing right now is 27 samples, all free, describing various features of SSK or questions that I've answered in the forums. Right now, the collection of answers is kind of old. So I've got a few from 2012, 2014, and a couple from 2015. But as I go along, I'm going to start answering all of the questions that I answer in the forums and put them in the sampler. So this list will grow rapidly. Anyways, back to the interface. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a button. If you click it, it's going to bring the help screen up. And in here, I talk a little bit about what SSK is. I talk about the sampler and the fact that it's broken down into 4 categories. And then I have some sections on how to run the sampler, which is basically if you're running this and you have clicked on this link, you're watching the video now. Let's see. I will be providing a video shortly on showing you how to extract samples from the sampler. And there's a link here which will point to the user's guide for SSK. So you'll probably want to install SSK in your projects, not just have the sampler. And this is where you'd learn how to do that. Alright, to select a category, simply click this button. It'll take you between Ask Ed, Core, Demos, and Game Guts. In a nutshell, Ask Ed is anything that any question that I've answered in the forums, generally, or maybe in an email, although primarily in the forums. Core will demonstrate core SSK features, that is, features that you can get in the free version of SSK. Currently there are 11, but I've only described the bare minimum number of features. There are a number of features that are yet to be described in samples, and so this number should grow significantly over the next month or two. Then we get to the next next 2 categories are more interesting. Demos. Demos are basically game ideas, game code, modules, just all kinds of different products which I will be releasing. Some of these will be free. Currently, I don't have any of the free ones listed here because I'm working out some details on the videos. But this will grow over time. And as I said, you'll be able to download the APK for Android, or you'll be able to go to iTunes Store and get the latest version of the sampler. And in there, you should see a number of samples in the demos category. Another thing is you'll be able to tell if a demo is free or if it is paid by seeing this little icon here. When this icon fades in, you'll be able to click it and go to the page where the module or the product is, but it'll also tell you that this is a paid demo. Some of them will have this as shaded out like this, which means that it's free and it should be included on the GitHub. So moving on. Another category is Game Guts. This is my favorite one. This is where I look at different games and I say, let's forget about making the whole game, but let's take a look at one particular interesting part of that game and reproduce it. And again, in this category, there will be paid and free answers. Currently, I'm only giving away Duck Shoot, but I will be adding more as time goes along. Let's see. As far as locating source code for any of these particular samples, you'll have noticed that as I change these buttons, this label here is changing. What this is telling us is that if we look in the sampler and then in the samples directory and below that Ask Ed and then finally below that Camera Shake, we will find the code for the Camera Shake sample. Again, in the next release of the sampler, this link will take you to a video that will show you how to extract that. But currently, if you want to take a look, this is where you would locate the code for the camera shake, or for the iterators comparator, or for gold box. Let's see, what was this? Yes, gold box conjecture. Really a question in the forums. It turned into a joke. Nonetheless, let's see. Right. Okay, so at any time we could click on run, and it would run the sample. And if we wish, we can simply click on the X here and quit. Choose another sample, run it, quit, run, etc. If we wanted to get some more details, we have two meters available to us. We have the frame rate meter and the memory meter. Simply bring these up and then run the example again, and you can see how these affect both the frame rate and the memory usage. So for example, the Newton's cradle, basically no change in memory usage, main memory, and a slight increase in the texture memory usage. And then when we quit, the texture memory should be released. By the way, it's normal for the memory to increase and not decrease when you come back if it increases over a certain level. That's a Lua thing. It has nothing to do with the sampler. It does not indicate that there's a memory leak, so you don't need to worry. What would indicate a memory leak, if you're curious, is that if you went into the same sample over and over, and this number just grew each time and never got smaller, continued to grow larger and larger, then that would definitely indicate a leak. What else? All right, let me reload. Okay, there we go. There are also these buttons down here. Some of these will be coming with videos that either describe the content or talk about how to use it. And then some of them will have additional detailed descriptions that talk about the actual sample. So for example, core extended new circle. We open that up. It'll bring up this scroller, and it talks a little bit about my replacement for display new circle. That is SSK display new circle, which replaces the existing functionality. Really, it extends it and adds some extra features. It talks a little bit about it, and it gives you a little syntax. All right. Oh yes, and don't forget that in the lower right hand corner it will always tell you what the current version of SSK that it is using. So you want to make sure that that is up to date. If this number gets a little bit old, it's probably time for you to get an update. All right, thanks a lot. I am looking forward to making more of these videos. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or post questions in the forums. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh, not quite yet. I should also amend. If you have questions about SSK or the sampler, you're looking for something, by all means, feel free to post those questions in the forums first and email me if you need to. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye again.